Welcome back to The Bookshelf. I'm Kyle, and this is my wife Heather, and we are really excited about sharing with you another great book. This month we're looking at Crazy Love by Francis Chan.
Well, I would like to start out by saying that I love this book. I thought it was great. Probably one of my new favorite books. We chose this book because it was at the top of several Christian bestseller lists, and we wanted to read what everyone else was reading. The theme of this book is that loving God will change your life. It'll change how you interact with other people and what you do with your time and money. It was a very convicting book. It challenged me on several points in my life, and it was also a very God-centered book.
Yeah, that's right. This book is really a call to action. Francis Chan wants us to read this and to go and do something, but that doing really starts with who God is. And he makes the case in the first several chapters of the book just about who is God and what has he done for us, and just about God's crazy love for us. Mm-hmm. And it's because of that we go out and love him and do these things. Just like John said, that if we love him, we will keep his commandments, that because of God's love for us, then we in turn love him, and as a result we do these things out of a delight because we love him. And one of the very convicting things that I came across in this book was just this question that if you took God out of my life, what would look different? Mm-hmm. And sure, I wouldn't be going to church on Sundays, but apart from that, how does my life look different? And would somebody else immediately be able to identify, like, wow, this guy obviously, like, he loves God and wants to serve him? And so I just thought that was a really great question. It really made me stop and think about what I'm doing for him.
I thought another challenging part of the book was this chapter called Profile of the Lukewarm Christian. And it's just, he gave some really practical examples of what it looks like to be someone who cares more about yourself and your schedule and your comfort than who loves God and loves other people. And I was just really challenged about my attitude towards other people and how I love people, and also just how blessed I am, how God has given me so much, and how I just hoard it. I hoard my time and my resources, and how oftentimes my life really revolves around me and me loving me instead of being someone who just loves God and who loves the people around me. And that really challenged me. It really made me think about my priorities and how I live each day.
So is this book just bashing us over the head and telling us all the things we're doing wrong? I don't think so. Mm-hmm. I think that Francis Chan does a great job balancing this with the idea that God doesn't work the same way in everybody's life. And for Francis, it meant that he sold his house and he and his family moved into a house half of the size to free up resources to be able to give to others. But he shares many stories about different ways that God has worked in the lives of people throughout history. And so he's not telling you, this is exactly what you need to be doing. Like, you need to go sell everything that you have. He acknowledges that God works differently in different people, and that somebody else is not the mold for us. But he gives us the question, is this the most loving thing that I could be doing right now? Mm-hmm. And I thought that was both convicting but helpful as well. It gives me something to stop and to think about. If I'm supposed to be showing others God's love, how am I doing that? How well am I doing that by doing what I'm doing? Mm-hmm. So I thought it was a great question, and just did such a great job balancing the book.
Definitely. I also liked how you were talking about how he challenged you to stop and to think. He does that throughout the book. He's like, stop, put the book down, pray about this, or think about this. And there's also, if you're interested, several chapter introductions online that you can watch where he actually does these little videos about them. And I thought that was neat just because I hadn't seen that in a book before. So as I think about this book, I think the only negative thing really isn't about the book, but more about me, because it was so challenging, and just there are so many things that I realized, Heather, you're loving yourself more than you're loving God, and you're loving other people. And so there were definitely times when I almost didn't want to read the book because I didn't want to be changed in my selfishness. So that's really the only negative thing I would say, and that's about me.
Yeah,
and not the book.
That's true for me as well. Definitely. And, this book is great for any Christian. It really is. But I think it's particularly great for Christians who are just comfortable. Mm-hmm. And I think that describes me. I like my comfort. I like my routine. And I thought it was great to really challenge and convict me in that area. Just that, about making sacrifices for God.
Definitely. So, we highly recommend this book. We think you should read it several times and put it on your bookshelf.